Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Joanne. Yes, I'm all in the dark here. It is the morning. It is nearly 8:30 on Saturday morning. Yes, too early to be up on a Saturday morning, but look, here I am bringing you. I thought I hadn't been on for a couple of days, so I thought, well, I better just say hello to you all. I'll just try and move the light. Ooh, only half of my face is in the light. My good side. My bad side. Good side. Bad side. Anyway, yes, I'm a bit crazy. I posted something on my tab yesterday on my community post about some stuff. You know, she's still poking the bear. There's been more stuff today, and it's crazy. But there's other stuff I want to talk about as well, because, like, you know, people say to me, "You're obsessed with Katie Joy." I'm actually not. Actually, I have lots of things that I am obsessed with, and for example, the housing crisis I'm really obsessed with, and I wish the government would actually be brave and really did something about people that have multiple houses, because at the moment we have what's called negative gearing, and you can actually use the cost of keeping a rental property and use it as tax offset. And for me, I reckon you can have one house that you can use as a tax deduction, and then the rest, I think, should be open slather. But a lot of people, there's been some new taxes like that in my state, where if you have more than one, there's going to be a tax put on it, and so lots of people are selling houses. So anyway, so I have lots of other things that amuse me and get me wound up. So it's just not Katie Joy. But she's also spoken about Garrison as well. Garrison's passing, which I find to be very disrespectful. Again, just my opinion. So we'll start off with Instagram, and then we'll head to Miss Ball's Twitter and Lama Girl's Twitter, because, as I said, they've done all the work for us. So apparently she's saying that Cody and the wives were prohibited from living permanently in the homes in Cody Pass. Now, I don't know that. She never shows us the whole documents or what the actual documents are. To be fair, I mean, you can screenshot anything and show anything and say this is it. Well, I have, for me, since I've done my evidence law unit, I've become very particular about I need to see the evidence in context. So you have to show me the evidence in context, which is why I'm very transparent and I show you straight from what people have written. I'm not going to give you a screenshot to screenshot. Hello, mummy, how are you? I will share what's been shared and I will question it. So that's what I do. And so she's just got this random line, and she says that we're never intending to live in the homes on Cody Pass. In fact, purchase agreements and loans with the seller confirmed they were barred from building homes for primary use. The seller only agreed to sell the land under condition that the land would be used for commercial and investment purposes. This actually tracks with two neighbours that I spoke with that built vacation rentals on the land. Now, why couldn't they? There's no. Here's the other thing. Seriously, they could actually build their home and have the other wife rent it from them. Come on, there's ways around it. The property to be used for vacation rentals, not single-family residence. The seller flat out told them that they would not have sold the property to them if they did not intend to use build vacation rental. That doesn't make any sense. Really? Most sellers, I'm happy, most sellers I know often just want to sell the property. It'd be like saying, well, I'm not going to sell you the property if you're going to knock it down and build something else on it. Often they don't care. They just, particularly if they're getting money for it. Again, where is it? Where is the proof that where's the negotiation documentation that says that the seller said put that condition on it? It does say this loan and property described is to be used for commercial and or investment purposes and without such representation by trusted beneficiary would not enter into this transaction. Well, and don't forget, they all run home businesses. So it would be a business. They'd run the business from their home. Therefore, it'd be a commercial venue. But again, she's put that there. But she said, again, I don't know what that document is. So as I said, no, I have to see context. So if you work from home and you have a business from home, you could then register the home for commercial purposes, and there's your loophole. See what I mean? So it's not like she's saying. The property is zoned RR2, meaning that the lots must be 2 acres minimum. No mobile homes or trailers allowed. Also, Janelle's Casista would not have been approved due to zoning requirements for accessory buildings. Accessory buildings in their zone cannot have kitchens and can only have 1 bathroom and sink. Additionally, the county would never have approved the one house he proposed to the women under zoning rules. Of course, Katie Joy knows everything. Also, Cody made Robin sign over any rights to multiple properties and a home he purchased with Christine. In a document filed related to Christine's home, Robin legally declared that no joint money between Cody and her had been used to purchase the home with Christine. This means that either Cody made Robin lie in a legal document, fraud, or he lied on the show that Robin gave Christine money for her down payment. If Robin's money was used to purchase Christine's home, Cody could not push Robin off the title. Cody Pass storyline officially declared a scam and storyline for the show. Really? A storyline for the show? You mean the show's not real, Katie? You mean it was a storyline for a TV show? Shock, horror. If Christine knew and kept it from Janelle, that's going to create all sorts of problems. I hope that's not the case. And then Katie goes, Janelle knew. She signed the trust document specifically about not using the land for single-family residences. Of course, the RV was a storyline. She couldn't have had it on the property for more than 4 months, and she had to get a permit to do it. Yes, and she got the permit. That's why she spent 4 months on the... if I remember rightly, and I've only seen snippets of the show, she talked about how she could only be there for 4 months of the year. No, it's not an ordinance. It's a zoning requirement for the zone they're in. Other zones allow mobile homes and trailers. This zone specifically prohibits permanent. Oh, look, I think the sister wives and TLC would have a bit of a case here too. Just my opinion. In fact, RVs aren't allowed. Only fifth wheels trailers are permitted for 100 days a year, but they have had to have their own energy source, which was the issue that Janelle ran into. They aren't allowed to plug into the grid. Didn't she have a fifth wheel trailer? That's why they're always talking about building. Then why are they always talking about building there? The whole thing makes no sense. Did they all know? This is because they literally lie about everything. As far as I know of real estate investment property includes a residence. Exactly, cheap glass. It says an investment property is a residential property. And as I said, well, it says she's saying residential or commercial. So if all they're going to do is run their business from home and get the prior, and then you've covered the commercial thing. And as I said, they could actually build a home and have the other sister wives rent it out. There's your investment. Come on. Like, it's not rocket science. And then she said, because they literally lie about everything. This is the show that Cody makes for profit. Then if you're saying that they lie about everything, why are you so hard pressed to prove stuff? You know what? She goes, they all lie. It's a show. And but you're trying to show that it's real. Come on, you can't keep changing your mind. Water is from a well. Soil has prairie dog disease issue, apparently. So, of course, she's the expert of all things. I know. Look, most areas you have to get permits to build. And the other thing is, I don't know what it's like here, what it's like there, but here you can actually apply to the county to request a rezoning. You know, there are ways around it. So, like where I live, for example, if I wanted to turn my house into a business, I would have to apply to the county, to my council, and say why I want it rezoned, and it can be rezoned. So, it's not, you know, that's right. It's about permits. If you've got a permit to do something, it doesn't matter. So then we've hit this one again, and I'm sorry if this is going to trigger people. I know that this made me really angry. So please be aware this might make you angry as well. Garrison Brown's autopsy was released per reports by People magazine. The medical examiner ruled his passing was a self-inflicted gunshot to his head. Additionally, toxicology taken from his blood determined Garrison's blood alcohol level was 0.307, which is extremely high and near fatal. The examiner also noted that Garrison had a history of migraines and pre-diabetes, and then she's got when he passed. And now she's going to give us an education on alcohol. Alcohol levels of 0.3 and above impact a person's ability to fully comprehend their surroundings or consequences of their choices. According to idrivesafely.com, alcohol levels above 0.30 cause significant issues with consciousness, can contribute to blackouts, passing out, and a person becoming unresponsive. This level of intoxication is extremely dangerous and can lead to serious health consequences. An average-sized man would need to consume more than 15 drinks to reach this BAC. Most people pass out when they reach 0.20 BAC. However, if, as she has said, he's an alcoholic, he would have been tolerant. Then she's put there. Look, I don't agree that people should be reporting either, but she's used that as her get out of jail, don't criticize me because people's reported it. So that was one. Then she went again. she's sharing. Garrison official cause of death is now revealed. A report released by indicates alcohol contributed to sudden passing. Country Girlbrand says, I'm in North Carolina in US. I easily got a commercial property zone residential and had to fill out paperwork and it took one day. Well, that's what I thought. It's just a permit. Then she's on to the Aldred. Cody Brown's favorite prophet from his church, Owen Aldred. She thinks working in a call center is working in corporate America, says Cheap Glass. Owen admits to men treating their wives cruelly, not taking care of their family. What year is this? An article from the early 2000s. Well, give me the specific date. What paper? If I wanted to verify this, where would I go to find it? You know what I mean? Like, this is all appropriate research and stuff. Now we get onto. Now this is really interesting because we would remember that Koncrete actually was it last year or whatever. Miss Balls has got the receipts, which is really good. Told Katie she was wrong with her narrative, but now apparently she's right.
Or it was something about why I left, bro. I left because it's time to go. It's time to go, bruh. I'm not about to be represented by no alleged, and this is real shit, bruh.
They gonna see when it drop. They gonna see when it drop.
They gonna see. I'm not about to be represented by no tea, no shade, no weirdo, bruh. It's time to go, bruh. Like, I'm not about to have.
So she says, Koncrete spoke about why he left 7M Films Management during an Instagram live. In the live, Koncrete made it clear he did not bring Tiger Eyes into the group. Additionally, he stated that he left because he did not want to be represented by an alleged star. Now, I believe, my understanding is the lawsuit with that was alleged. One of the first lawsuits that was alleged was actually dismissed. So there's been no criminal charges. And it's just somebody's as I said, I don't know. Having an affair is not illegal. You can't get arrested for having an affair, which my understanding is that's what he may have admitted to, Robert Shin. But we will see with Miss Ball, she's got the receipts where she's trying to push a narrative to Koncrete, and he says, no, that's not right. Now his narrative has changed. And coincidentally, he's also in the docuseries. So she says, Koncrete confirms that the group is a cult because, of course, Koncrete's an expert on cults, of course, right? Koncrete being a cult expert. Okay, yep, confirms it's a cult. He encouraged people to wait to hold judgment about the series until they watch. He showed people that once the series drops, the truth will finally be out. Interestingly, Koncrete does not accuse me of forcing him to leave the group, nor does he imply that my reporting caused him to leave the group. Robert Shin is suing me for lost wages of Koncrete and other dancers. He claims that they left because of my reporting of lies. Apparently, Koncrete states that Robert Shin's behavior and how he treated women and people in the group is why he left the group. Now, the way he treated women and people in the group is why he left. That doesn't mean that he's an alleged R. It just means that he's not a nice person. Which, again, contradicts the earlier claim. Apparently, he states Robert Shin's behavior and how he treated women and people in the group is why he left. That's completely different to saying that they're an alleged R. Just says that he's not a nice person. Again, not being a nice person is not illegal. What is with her keeping up about being? So that is. So she's on this thing that it wasn't me that made him leave. If I remember rightly, wasn't it because of the loss of contracts that she was being sued, not because of the loss of dancers? I may be wrong, but here we go. So let's look at her reporting would have left because of KJ. That's right. She's the one that has said that he's alleged. And as I said, there was an allegation in one of the dismissed lawsuits of that. But that lawsuit, from what I understand, didn't go anywhere because there wasn't enough evidence. And obviously there wasn't enough evidence for a conviction. So therefore, you're innocent until proven guilty.
I'm going to add some people in. All one person.
Ah! Did you say one person? And they were free to leave. A cult, you wouldn't be free to leave. So she wrote this, dear Robertson, you are suing me and claim Koncrete left your group because of me. Today on live, Koncrete said he left because he didn't want to be associated with you, nor did he want his wife around a man that is accused of doing what you are accused of doing to women. He also called your church a cult. Sincerely, drop your frivolous lawsuit and stop abusing a court, Katie. Furthermore, Kevin told me personally that he left 7M because of you, not because of me or anything else that reported about you. Our actions and behavior with him and friends were why he left. Again, if he was able to leave, it's not a cult. And being a mean, horrible person is not a criminal offense. People leave their jobs all the time because they don't like their boss. Or they don't like who they work with, or they don't like something. People do it all the time.
Did you really
I don't know what this is about.
tell the locker room staffer in Denver you were going to be back for
Hell
game
yeah. They know I was in there. Yeah, I told them. I said, I'll see y'all for game 7. Yeah.
Trying to say.
No, it doesn't make sense to write a letter to someone to you. And if this is her, my other thing is, like her last lot of evidence, her waterboarding evidence doesn't show anything.
Something on why I left. Or trying to say something on why I left. Or it was something about why I left, bro. I left because it's time to go. It's time to go, bruh. I'm not about to be represented by no alleged, and this is real shit, bruh.
They gonna see when it drop. They gonna see when it drop.
They gonna see. I'm not about to be represented by no tea, no shade, no weirdo, bruh. It's time to go, bruh.
Okay, so he talks about being a weirdo again, and then he chucks in this alleged stuff.
Bruh. Like, I'm not about to have my wife around this shit, bruh. You know what I mean? Like, you told me, you know what I mean? Just know it's a video coming out.
So essentially, he doesn't like the guy. He thinks the guy's a weirdo. Okay. Again, being weird doesn't mean being a weirdo isn't a criminal offense. And it looks like to me he's really trying not to say. He's trying not to say it.
Out. It was definitely a cult. It was definitely a cult. But cults run in the same way, bro. And you really don't know you're in a cult until you may need to get out of one.
Right. So so is that her evidence? She said Kevin said he left because of him, but she doesn't. That's right. I don't even remember. Apparently, they're on the brink of bankruptcy too. So Katie and Robin. Again, hello to Vanandra. She doesn't show the receipt that where he said in the lawsuit that Koncrete left because of him. I cannot remember that being said. I remember it was about loss of contract. And I remember that they said that she was the first to report and other media outlets jumped onto that. That's what was said. But all of this other stuff, I don't remember. And nobody else seems to be able to remember either. But it's just very interesting that Koncrete, and we're going to actually have a look. He is in the documentary, I believe. Because Miss Balls has come with the receipts. So thank you, Miss Balls. And let's have a look at the receipts. She said, where did she put it? I saw this. Because she's using the court of public opinion. So this is a few years ago. This is last year. Because if you remember, so she's come with the receipts. So this was from Instagram. And Katie's trying to engage him in a conversation. And you might remember this. So I remember this. So it says, Koncrete, Cody Suck, you're failing your assignment. And Katie says, Koncrete, remember the time you got kicked out of church for not obeying man of God rules? Because I heard that happened. And you had to prove yourself to be invited back. Absolutely no legitimate pastor would ever treat someone in that way. Koncrete, now you're hearing it from me. That's a lie. But hey, you'd believe anyone or anything that goes against the words God, pastor, church, or Bible. Carry on, please. Koncrete, I just listened to your worship group call your pastor a prophet and God. I have the audio. You are being fooled. I was not lied to. I know factually you were banned from the church services for not obeying. Koncrete says, what church is this? Koncrete, see, you don't believe me and I'm the source. Typical. Without a crystal ball. Your church. Stop playing games. So that story is a completely different story to the one that's here. So he has changed his tune. It says if Koncrete doesn't want anything to do with 7M, this is why did he show up to the competition they held and got mad because TE wouldn't even acknowledge him? His story has changed so much and it's all online. He's not a reliable witness. And Miss Ball says, yes, that's true. Kevin is super talkative about TE and TE doesn't mention him. So I don't know who TE is, but so again, his story's changed and he's gone from calling Katie out to them being besties again. But again, it's interesting that the docuseries may have had something to do with that. And I just find that very, very interesting. And then here's another comment on Twitter. So all of a sudden, after KJ kept repeating how bad it is, and how bad it all is, he left and said the reason he left is exactly what KJ accused them of doing. That's an interesting, perfectly timed coincidence, don't you think? So suddenly, so she's had no receipts at all about all of these things, and now everyone's coming out to change her to defend her story. Right. You know, that's That's Tiger Eyes. That's right. That is correct. Tiger Eyes. That's right. You are right. Yes, Tiger Eyes. So, yeah, you can't criticize them and then be upset because nobody's talking to you. Lots of people do. I mean, and again, if he didn't get a job or he was a bit upset about something, he is going to be looking for for something. And I mean, this is I've just gone to his Instagram anyway. So just to he says, I hope this let me just restart this. I keep hitting something and it keeps making it really big. It's great because sometimes I can't see properly. But it's funny that she's all over his social media. She's all over his Instagram. That's right. And she also has deleted posts and videos. That's right. And the other thing is, even if we wanted to, we could, well, I mean, other than the fact that people have got them, but you can't go back and find them because she's privated them. So he says, I hope this documentary that recently dropped on Netflix teaches people that there are people with agendas. And it ain't happening in church. For the ones who are trying to make jokes, I hope you'd never find yourself on my phone again and unfollow me. And it's interesting because she's like, without a crystal ball, likes it. So interesting, isn't it? What I find to be really quite interesting is how his tune has changed. I'd like to see this live, but I don't think it'd be here, would it? Could it have been deleted? But here it is. Let's have a look. We need context.
I'm going to add some people in. All one person.
All one person. So he had one person in. He had one person in his live.
What's cracking? The audit. We're about to clear some things.
Now it's interesting here. Let's look at this. Someone says, I need to pause this. Someone says, a lot of churches, it says, true, that's why my family really study the Bible ourselves to determine if what someone is saying is biblical or not. This is the only way you won't find yourself in these situations. And then he says, that's exactly how I got out. So there's another story. Again, he's saying he got out because he discovered it wasn't biblical. Are you friends with the other dancers? Honestly, I don't know. I did text some of them to structure my piece. So, Koncrete, did you leave because of all these other things, or did you leave because you found it wasn't biblical? Because now we've got another story. I think, mate, you are very confused.
Where art thou, Spartan?
Why hasn't she liked the post?
Hello, everybody. Hello. Jumping on my time. Oh, hold on. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, I'm trying to get Spartan on the phone.
And the other thing
Somebody
is, we really
text
need
Spartan and say I'm inviting them on.
We also need to listen to this in context. So let's. Yeah, I think he is confused, Cheap Glass. I think he's very confused, and I would be horrified if people have taken this confusion. I mean, when you're confused, you can be easily manipulated. So let's have a listen to what the actual live says and see what we can actually get from it, because I think it's important to actually listen to it for ourselves. Remember, we want to listen to the source. We want to get because we've only had snippets from Katie Joy, and it's been, we want to hear what he actually says. I mean, he could be talking about a whole different thing.
On mine real quick. I don't want to leave the live.
I don't know how long this goes for either.
Let's see. I may have to, let me see. Boom, here we go. Let me invite the Brody one more time. He's on his own IG. Oh man. Nah, we got to get on them one. I just text him. Hold on, bro.
So it's interesting that he needs to. I think she's blocked, isn't she? Didn't he block her? Says, no, not going to lie. Not going to talk about Tiger Eyes more than he does you all. And she says, not going to lie. I'm only responding to what he said. Have you listened to the whole thing? So don't do that. Mostly talking about the comments. So, but in my what I've just seen and read, if we take what Katie says and what we've seen in his comments, we've got different things again. So, as I said, he just comes across as being really confused, in my opinion.
I just texted me. Thank you, Ruger. Yeah, there we go. Accept. There we go. Accept that thing. What happened? Accept. I'm pressing it. Hold on, here it go. All right, let's see it.
So
There he is. There he is, James.
Here we go. Keeping up with the Jameses, part 1.
Interestingly, we don't see the other guy in her video, but anyway, we'll just see. Katie, I'm sure. I think Katie's blocked from his page. I think at one point in time someone pointed that out, but she hasn't commented. I can't imagine that she would not have, if she was watching his live, she would not have been in all over the comments. I'm just saying. Oops.
Man, I guess we can update people, bruh.
All right, look.
Should I go?
The audio cool. Hopefully the audio is cool. We just want to run this quick crump audit because we got some questions. You know what I'm saying? It's the onlys, the one and onlys. You know what I'm saying? Big Koncrete, big AK 300, Slim Sandy. You know what I'm saying? It's what it is. Big 10K. We out here. So look, at any point, let me know if my audio is bad. Big oh gosh. Yo.
Oh gosh.
What it do? All right, so
I'm gonna let you know.
Pardon me, I had to move my fan. So we're gonna try and make this as quick as possible. It may be a little lengthy pause, but check me. All right. We decided to do this. I'm gonna let Koncrete go first, but we decided to do this little crump audit because we got some questions and it's just narratives that are not conducive.
Ruger.
Yeah, they're narratives that's not conducive to the growth of crump. So as like tastemakers and pioneers, we just trying to like make sure that the culture grows in a way that is positive and not like narrative driven, ego driven, things like that, malicious shit, like, you know. So we just want to like take the time and talk to y'all and ask some questions, because certain stuff we just don't know.
Hi, Bo. What number one says, I can't wait for the lawsuit with 7M is really going to get going. The judge needs to hurry up and declare that she's not a journalist. I'd like to be in the room when she hears that news. Well, some of this behavior is not becoming of a journalist, it would seem, in my opinion. I've not seen journalists act like this, and my daughter's doing a journalism course and is absolutely horrified. And the person that I'm seeing as well is also a journalist as well, so it's very interesting. You know, I've just and they just roll their eyes, but anyway. Anyway. Hello everyone. Hello Joanne. Hope you're having a great. Yeah, it is. It's about, what time is it now? It's about 9:04 in the morning. So just to update you all, Katie Joy was saying that Koncrete gave us a clip of Koncrete backing up her allegations about Robert Shin, and she's quoted this live. So we're going back to the source to see the context, because as usual, we haven't got the context of what was said. We don't know what was said. And Koncrete has just told that it was tie-dyes, like maybe he was into that. Now I see it's tie-dye. Yes. But here, in these comments here, you'll see, so he says, that's exactly how I got out. Someone was talking about studying the Bible to see whether it was biblical about, and then he says, that's exactly how I got out. Well, according to what Katie posted, he talked about the fact that Shin wasn't a nice man, which again is not a reason to being a really horrible, selfish human being. Is not a criminal. Is not criminal, and is also not a reason to sue somebody. You know, is not a reason to be in court. That's interesting. Hello JMMM. I cannot see any comment that she's made, and I looked through the likes. I cannot see that she's liked it. If I'm trying to think back, but I think he blocked her at one point. But he's in the documentary, and she has taken credit for getting the people in the documentary. So, but he's now using her narrative as to. So he's changed his reasonings for why he got out. He's changing his reasonings for. He's now backing her narrative about Shin, which we saw before. She called him a liar and everything. But in his comments here, he says the reason he got out was, in fact, was about the Bible. So he's now given us 3 reasons why he got out. So what is truth? Was it Herod that asked Jesus, what is truth? Oh, hello, Ruth. You know? Okay, thank you. I got confused with all of this. It stinks. You should. Well, you know, the whole thing is very confusing to be honest. And I'm actually having a look to see if I can find who, in fact, is, if she is following, and I can't see. I can't see her in here. So well, that's the other thing. If he can't speak on it, then why on earth is he? I cannot see that. I'm just on my phone. I cannot see her in his I cannot see him in I cannot see her in his followers list. However, you know, I know that doesn't mean anything, but it's interesting because she didn't show the whole screen. She only showed selected screen. So maybe she's like me and not a follower, and has just done what I've done.
Too. We was around for a lot, but There's a lot of stuff that we also don't know. And
Very.
yeah, we just want to propose just some questions for y'all and just, vibe, tell some stories. If y'all got questions, then, yeah.
Yeah, it's just that time. You know what I mean? It's just that time. And I'm not a very vocal person. I just been vocal the past like 2 years. You know what I mean? So I'm an observer. You feel me? So let's just get that out the way. Real ones know that I observe, bruh. So I'm gonna update everybody. There's a narrative and actually it's going on right now as far as it has something to do with this 7M stuff. All right. And I'm like, I don't mind talking about it. I'm low key like past it, but that's why I could talk about it. You know what I mean? It has no like.
So she blocked me, so I can't see anything, sister. Bo. Doubt she would hear it, even if the judge explains it to her. Her delulu will kick in and spin something in her mind. Then she'll convince her audience that she's. Well, I mean, if you've seen what they've done, what her audience on the Browns, and because she's brought in about, she didn't put that in her Instagram, about the fact that there's some insurance money for Garrison and that Cody and Janelle are probably going to have to fight over it. I just think that that's a really poor narrative. So we're watching this live to see whether we can get the context of what the real reason is. As I said, I can come up with 3 reasons that have been attributed to Koncrete leaving, and he's given a reason in the written form here. It's just here. That's exactly how I got out.
It has.
And it is my view that he's very confused. But I wonder whether a deposition or having to be a witness under oath will help his memory. But it is my understanding that he's probably in the doco as well. So
No emotional hold on me anymore to where, I could talk about it. So, but there's a narrative that me and a few people, I'm not gonna say names because I already handled it with these people first. So it really doesn't matter. The subject matters. And I even talked to the one who's who said it. We're all cool. I'm just letting y'all know the good news. We're all good. Everybody's cordial because it was miscommunication. It wasn't communicated right, okay? So, whether you care or not, it was told that I got tied-eyes into the 7M situation. Whether you care or not, let's just say that is
okay. So where has that come from? Isn't that another one of Katie's comments that he got him in? I've not seen that anywhere. I've not seen that anywhere other than Katie. Am I correct in thinking that that's a Katie narrative? Please let me know if you think that. I think that was a Katie narrative. But I can't give you, that's just me at the moment trying to remember. I'm happy to be proven wrong if you want to prove me wrong. But I've not seen that narrative other than a Katie narrative. It's not in any of the lawsuits it's not mentioned in the lawsuit that 7M filed. Hi, Barbara. Does anyone remember?
100% falsination. And it ties to so many things. It ties to so many things. That's why I'm saying it. Now, if anybody else was told that I got tie-dyes into this 7M situation, I'm not bashing you. I'm just letting you know how much of a lie it is. Now, because one person said it, it could be an assumption. Okay, Rex said people told me that shit. Oh,
One person said it. One person said, he just said one person said it.
okay, here we go. This is the reactions we wanted right here. I just needed one more that didn't have anything to do with anybody. So guess what? Now we really get to drop some beans. Thank you for confirming that. All right. Now, then it was said that he's in this contract. Now, I haven't been there. To give the benefit of the doubt, I haven't been around 7M in about 2 years or a year or two. Okay.
So now we're talking about the fact he hasn't been there for 2 years. Yeah, Barbara, Koncrete is one of the people Katie says is evidence about 7M and all of that stuff, but it would seem that his story's changed a little bit, and I think he's just confused, and that's normal, but I believe he's also in the documentary, so I'm having a feeling that his story is changing to match the documentary, because we showed Miss Balls has evidence on her Twitter that he was not very happy with Katie Joy, and now she's using him as a receipt.
Nigga, sorry if there's anybody who's offended by words. I'm going to be as black and white as I can be, okay? But nigga, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Just know that is a lie. I'm not about to sit here and yell. Everybody knows the brand that me and B Dash have or used to have. So every time I link up with B Dash, we do work. You know what I mean?
So he's still hanging out with B Dash, and he's still working with B Dash, but isn't B Dash with 7M?
I'm not throwing B Dash under the bus because I don't want B Dash over there as well. Like, nigga, these are my friends, except tie-dyes. I'm gonna say that loud and clear for everybody. Tie-dyes is not my friend nor my enemy. It's not that deep to be my enemy, to be 100. Only I have enemies with deep people. Tie-dyes is not that deep for me. Just letting y'all, you know what I mean?
Okay, so they're still friends again, which I don't understand why he would be trying to destroy the income source of his friends.
It's like nothing. It's just nothing. I learned from a situation. I accepted it. And now it's nothing to me. But everybody else, Rex, about that shit, somebody on live, Rex, man, look. No, Rex on, he telling his piece. Somebody said that to him, and it's proving my case. Let's just say I was, when B Dash got me, told me about these Bible studies, I was already doing my church thing. I let go of the other church shit that I did not know was going on from, what is it? What is it called? Jamar, what's the church?
Hospitality.
Hospitality. Okay. It was a situation I didn't know was going on because I was too busy doing my own thing. I was going back to Sacramento. I was, you know what I mean? You feel me? I wasn't
Right.
all up in that like that. I was there, but I was too buck. I was too in the crump. And then ER, rest his soul, was always keeping me aligned with myself. Like, man, be your own man, bro. Like this, that, and the third. Cause he did not like what was going on in hospitality. Boom shaka. So let's
I've never heard about a church of hospitality. It's one of the things that you do as part of being in church as a gift of hospitality. But it's bizarre. But anyway.
rewind. So I'm not trying to veer off what I'm talking about. Tie-dyes. So I end up going to a Bible study. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go to a Bible study. It's B-Dash. Me and B-Dash, every time me and B-Dash link up, we in that thing. We go crazy. We hit World of Dance. That's gonna be a story that we talk about. We hit up World of Dance. We did all these shows. We did all these bookings. B-Dash was doing he started flourishing in social media a lot more than I did, but I was on something else.
I was going to say, is that what this is about? I'm starting to get the impression that a lot of these ex-dancers didn't get the success that maybe B-Dash and Miranda had. And remember, when you leave a workplace and you leave on bad terms, you've got to be careful not to be bitter.
I was just on something else. My success is different from anybody else's success. You know what I mean? But I was still clicking with B-Dash. When me and B-Dash, like I said, link up, we work and we do shit. So I go to the Bible study, not with no grudge in my heart, very accepting, nothing, nobody's judging anybody. And I see, lo and behold, guess who jumped on the phone? Not my phone. Tie-dyes.
He's the greatest.
Now, we were not, this is Infinite God. This is Koncrete X. Niggas thought you was being held captive and cutting people off the whole time you was coming to Sac every month, taking care of your son and hanging with the fam. So, that was true. Very much true. So, I see Tie-dyes on the phone at this time.
Did he just admit that he wasn't cut off from his family? He's another dancer, I believe. I'm not really sure who all the players are. But did he just say they didn't get cut off and he got to see his family? Because that is a whole different, that there discounts her whole narrative.
I'm like, not beefing with Tie-dyes, but we're cordial. We even did videos. Spartan, do you remember when me, Beast, and Eyes was doing the videos? The Buster,
Yes.
we thought everything was getting a little solid because, you feel me?
I remember you even called me and had me talk to
Yes.
I remember.
I tried to have you talk to Chaz, bro. This is something that I don't even want to get into it with ER with that. You know what I mean? Because that makes me very emotional. Okay? But even ER tried to do that. Niggas knew the power that Spartan and Tie-dyes had.
So I thought I just heard him say before, someone said about he's trying hard to convince everyone he's had the story correct. But I thought he said before, and I can't rewind it, somebody made a comment about him seeing his kids and he wasn't kept away from everybody. And he said that is correct. And I mean, that is part of, again, that would disprove the cult thing.
Had together. You feel me? And
I
I'm going to
will.
let Spartan talk on that in a minute. I'm almost done. I see Tie-Dye's on the phone during the Bible study. Hey, this is actually really cool. This is dope. Tie-Dye's, we got Chez back. I know he's been going through a lot. You know what I mean? His mama eyes, Zarius, ER for people who don't know who that is, or ER, the Crump world, you know, the apology. He's doing what he needs to do. That's Tie-Dye's. He's taking accountability and everything. I'm taking my accountability. I took my little losses. I think we lost Spartan a little up, and we back right there. I took my L's. The last.
But I think you're right, Barbara is trying to show us. He's trying to convince us of something, and I'm not sure that he's being convincing, particularly considering that we've got like a different version.
The last real conversation me and Ty had, that man said, Koncrete, no more L's, bro. No more L's. I took a big L. No more L's. I damn near broke down because I know exactly where he was coming from. Because of the church, nigga. Because of the motherfucking his brother, nigga. Because of Mama Eyes, bro. You got Street Kingdom. We lost on national TV. I can tell that all this shit was built up on Chez, bro. He knew that situation from that church, bro, was really, really wrong. This is why it confuses me, like how I'm getting treated like this, nigga. Getting dissed on Crump tracks. And you can say, oh, you didn't say your name, but ex-little homies being soft is a real crazy thing to say. You feel me? Consider niggas was actually sticking up for being stupid.
It is really coherent. So this again, as I said, is one of her reasons of proof of one of her receipts about Robert Shin. And you're right, it is so coherent. How do you think he'd go on the witness stand under cross-examination? Is I guess is my thing.
Stewards, bruh, great or trying, bruh. You know what I mean? So showing our loyalty, whatever, bruh. So that narrative of me bringing Tie-Dye's into this situation and now he's wanting to get out, I'm gonna stop it right here. That shit's not real. That shit's not real, bruh.
He would need a lot of coaching. He would need a lot of coaching. In fact, I saw a journalist the other day. In fact, there's so many journalists getting sued at the moment in Australia for an article. He was cross-examined for 2 days straight, and his story never budged. They used every trick in the book, and he would not budge on his account. He was able to talk about the sources he used. He had to talk about the research that he'd undergone, how many interviews he conducted with each person, how he did to verify their information, and it was very fascinating to watch this journalist. And I remember one of the questions the lawyer asked was, well, how do you know they're telling the truth? And he said, I've been a journalist for 30 years. I've been an investigative journalist for 15. He says, you know when somebody is telling the truth and you know when somebody's lying. Because the more they talk, if they're lying, they will change their answer.
The shit's not real.
Ain't no other way to say it.
You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean? I have a special needs child I have to attend to for the rest of his natural born life. And you think I'm going to put myself in jeopardy by lying to people and owing people money and doing all this shit? You think I'm going to put myself in jeopardy? You think I'm going to do all that to get ahead? Nigga, no.
No, I actually just realized Koncrete has a Threads account, and on his Threads account, he has said that he signed his special needs child up to a talent agency, by the way, that specializes in special needs children. We might find that.
Oh, niggas want to grow. I thought, and I'm gonna end it with this. I thought I was being a good foot soldier, along with my niggas that were also being good. Don't you know? I mean, I'm like, nigga, we all
He's not being he's not coming across as convincing, is he? KJ would fall apart or come off unsympathetic to a jury. Oh, could you imagine where she'd say she's getting some tough questioning and she'd go, I don't like your accusatory tone.
Basically, bro, we were all just trying to put ourselves in a better position by taking more risks, bro. Going and doing choreo. You know what I mean? Doing shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? Let's take Crump to a different platform. Let's imagerize, like, let's put another image on Crump. You know what I mean? That's what was the biggest picture. Now, there's a key moment, and I'm passing the ball. This is me passing the ball to Spartan.
So it sounds like there is a dispute over this Crump thing. And so again, we're now getting stuff about, yeah, he doesn't hold on. No, there's something weird. Like, as I said, she's used images of this and footage of this. I don't know how long this goes for. I can't find a timeline.
Nigga. Oh, before that, people were trying to say something on why I left.
Well, here we go.
Or it was something about why I left, bro.
Right, so here we go. This is why this is.
And I'm like, nigga, I left because, nigga, it's time to go. Nigga, like, it's time to go, bruh. I'm not about to be represented by no alleged, and this is real shit, bruh.
They gonna see when it drops.
So now he's just thrown that in. So he's gone from it's being time to go to not being represented by some alleged. Remember, it is only alleged. But where has he got this alleged? Where's he got this information that is these things?
They gonna see. I'm not about to be represented by no tea, no shade, no weirdo, bruh. It's time to go, bruh. Like, I'm not about to have my wife around this shit, bruh. You know what I mean? Like, you told me, you know what I mean? Just know it's.
And again, even that is all over the place, in my opinion. That he is just all over the place. Like, he's just sort of throwing this out of nowhere, and it's bizarre. I'm not being ripped by some alleged, and it's like, well, hang on a minute. Where have you got this information from? You've just said, and you've said in your comments that you left because the church wasn't biblical. But now you're saying that he may seem off because, well, that's true too. Is that, but again, is that, where was it? Oh, yeah, here we go. I'm just going to share that. So this is Koncrete's thread here. So this is him on Threads. Says, obviously this is a spew over this crump music. But that's his wife. When combos don't match. I've won every stage stare contest overseas and asked what are you looking at in languages. Why nobody talking about Drake asking K-Dot for a feature? Anyway, we get down to here. Crazy got my son in a talent agency, specifically special needs children. When a person who doesn't say so. I'm the worst person to gossip to. I start spacing out because I really don't care. So I'm just very interested in the fact that he signed his son up for a talent agency. I mean, I'm not trying to be critical or anything, but why would you put your son through a management agency when you've had a bad experience with one, I guess? But see, here's the thing. Is he talking about the church? Like, we've got two different things here. We've got two different concepts. We've got the church and we've got the talent agency. And I can't work out which one he's actually talking about.
It's a video coming out. It was definitely a cult. It was definitely a cult. But cults run in the same way, bro. And you really don't know you're in a cult until you may need to get out of one.
Oops, I just messed that up, didn't I? Oopsies. I don't want to have to go through all of that again.
Hello, my friend.
Oh, I don't want to go through that anyway. So that's essentially what she's used as her evidence, that he's a cult and everything. But I just, yeah, as I said, I just find it very, very bizarre of all of that. I wanted to just look at something else, actually. So because, let's have a look. I decided I'd use one of Katie. I'm not using Wikipedia, but I'm using, she likes the American Psychological Association. So let's have a look at a cult. Seclusion from the outside world and authoritarian tends well-organized, secretive, hostile to non-members, to religious groups. Look, it possibly could be a cult, but is it a cult or is it a religious movement? Is there a signs? Some say a cult or a sect is a provocative label used to discriminate against religious movements. Can be as formal. So psychiatrist Robert J. Lifton, who once taught at Harvard Medical School, wrote a paper, Cult Formation in the 80s. He delineated three primary characteristics. Charismatic leader who increasingly becomes an object of worship. Correct, Joanne. Netflix is a good way for him to get his name out there. If, in my opinion, he wasn't getting gigs, and it would do. That is a living leader who has no meaningful accountability and becomes the single most authoritative defining element of the group and its source of power and authority. The process of indoctrination can be seen as coercive persuasion, economic, sexual, or other exploitation by the leader. We don't know that they couldn't do medical stuff. Power devolved from a single leader, so like Seventh-day Adventists or Mormons. Some groups do not fit the definition of the cult, but may pose potential risks for participants. No tolerance for questions or critical inquiry. No meaningful financial disclosure. You know, there's some of that. I mean, some of that is KJ as well. Let's face it. She deletes all negative comments about it. Anyone with her gets blocked. She's the only source. You're only supposed to listen to her because she's the person that has the most information on, you know, all of that. You know, it is a debate, but what is the difference? And for me, the fact that they were easily able to walk out, I think, gives me a you know, let's have a look at this. This is from the Parliament of Australia. So let's have a look what this one says. In examining the issues of cults, there are problems in characteristics and definition. The committee does not wish to judge or give offence to. There are differences between cults and small, but nevertheless mainstream religions that are not understood or that some people think are strange. I think rainy days. And the other thing is did he get paid for the documentary? And has that documentary, so what did he get paid for it? And if so, how much did he get paid for it? And, you know, that's all about accountability. So they're saying, firstly, there is a difference between cults and mainstream religions. Okay, that's what they've said there. Secondly, membership of religious bodies and cults is normally a private matter and people have the right to join or not to join as they choose. This is a paper. This is from a joint committee on religions. Okay, so this is from the Parliament of Australia. When the rights are put at risk by the behaviour of others, when people are pressured or forced into actions that may harm in some way, then society has the right to impose limits. This is sometimes the situation with bodies called cults. Dr. Max Wallace noted that while some groups have bizarre belief, few of the people who express surprise at, mock, or criticise the beliefs of others similar response about aspects of their own beliefs or habits. For example, in context of the need of a definition of cults and their rights, there is a suggestion in one submission that a comparison of the Bible with the doctrine of the Catholic Church would condemn the latter as a cult. Dr. Wallace pointed out that in addition to what is done to religious organisations or between them, there has to be a consideration of what happens in such organisations. Thus, what occurs within cults cannot be dismissed simply as either being unfair criticism by those with a grudge, and that's what I think is what's being played out here. My thoughts on what a cult would be, says Country Girl Brenda, it would depend if you worship the person rather than the religion, obeying a man rather than the religion. Yes, I think that's a fair one. So thus what occurs within cults cannot be dismissed simply as either unfair criticism by those with a grudge or by the notion that certain conduct is integral to behaviour of cults. There is therefore the need for the means of distinguishing between the conduct that is acceptable and which is not. Thus, he did not accept that without legal sanction that it would be possible to encourage others to commit S. All right, so characteristics. So the material the committee received a number of organizations in Australia and were characterized as cults, including, and so here are some cults. Here are some cults that were the Magnificent Meal Movement in Queensland, the Family or Children of God, the Vibrational Individualization Program, Actual Order. In addition, so there's an organization called Cult Aware that also has listed cults. So we go down to 11 here, and you can see their receipts here. 11, where is it? 11. Come on, 11. Yeah. So there we go. And Cult Aware ceased to operate in 1999. So as I said, I've wondered whether it's people with a grudge against that. So a breakdown of inquiries addressed to Cult Aware suggested cults could be broken into the following categories: religious, 34%, therapeutic personal development, 25%, New Age, 17%, Eastern meditation, 14%, commercial, 6%, occult, satanic, 4%. Dr. Wallace suggested there is a difference between religions and cults. Religions are more outward looking and more public in their affairs than cults, which tend to be more inward looking, committed to their own affairs and totally ensconced in the activities of members inside the organization. While mainstream religions are not so concerned as once they were, recruitment is the reason for the existence of cults. And he said that they spend a great deal of time at this work. Hello, Ginger, how are you? So here's the thing: the church is supposed to be small, and it's only supposed to be a small group. It is also possible for cult-like activity to occur within most mainstream religion. Regimented practices can develop, and individuals seek to control the behavior and thought processes of individuals within a group, thus giving a cult-like appearance. So you can be cult-like, but not a cult. So the HEROC's report on Article 18 referred to the views of cults. So this is Cult Aware claimed that cults should be identified by some, if not necessarily all, of the criteria. A leader claiming divinity or a special mission delegated to him or her. The leader demands absolute and unquestioning obedience as the sole judge of faith and commitment. Systematic use of sophisticated techniques to affect ego destruction, thought reform, and dependence on the cult. Meaningful communication with family and pre-cult friends is sharply curtailed and thus becomes the convert's family. Now, interesting, because Koncrete said that he could still keep contact with his family because that's not, and I got the impression that his wife wasn't part of the alleged cult. So therefore, is it really a cult? Preoccupied with raising funds, recruiting worship courses. The cult's goals are placed ahead of individual and society concerns. Educational plans, career, health, and well-being are ignored. Members may be maintained at a heightened state of suggestibility through lack of sleep, intense spiritual exercise, constant indoctrination, controlled group experiences, and manipulated spiritual encounters. Members' finances are often exploited. Members are exploited through poor working conditions and low pay of rate. Deceptive techniques are used to recruit members and solicit donations, while the cult's identity is hidden from new recruits by the use of front names until prospective members are conditioned. In evidence, the Australian Human Rights Commissioner drew particular attention to the issue of coercive conversation. While groups opposed to cults are stringent about coercive conversion in, cults can equally be coercive conversion out. In connection with smaller groups on the fringes of religious activities, he drew attention to the acceptability of genuinely held religious beliefs that do not breach the provisions of broader criminal law. All right. Dr. Wallace thought it was useful to draw distinctions between harmless cults and those that are not harmless, because there is a continuum of groups from reasonably benign through groups that are hostile to their own members. So this person has talked about harmless cults and harmful cults. cult. I think so. I think so. I think she should. I think she should. So the Cult Information Family Support Inc. is an organization whose members have seen and experienced the abuse of freedom of religion and belief by cults in Australia. Draw attention to group members who are encouraged by their children from the age of 6 to a boarding school in America. These children cut off from their parents, family, friends, and learn nothing of their Australian heritage. CIFS believes that the teaching of the group should not take precedence over the rights of an Australian child to be brought up as Australian. So then there's that. So they've got here, so let's look at the what was it? Cult Information and Family Support site. So we're just trying to, I'm just trying to find out what is, we're just looking at cult stuff because what's his face? Koncrete said, oh, it was, the church was definitely a cult. So this is a place, a support network. So this is Cult Information and Support. I think the lawyer's fees on deposition is going. I think so. Well, the other issue I have is that she's making the witness list bigger. She's calling in all of these people. So this is the cult watcher. Is a loved one in identifying a cult. So let's have a look at this then. Cult awareness. Let's have a look at this. It's 7 minutes.
Welcome to Cult Information Family Support. I hope you
enjoy
this short overview of what a cult is and maybe what a cult isn't.
So let's see if we can identify a cult. I'm still thinking there's the cult of KJ, but anyway, let's see. But this guy is not going to be very exciting, so I apologize about that.
If you're like many of us, you've watched the news and current affairs programs and you've heard the word cult bandied around. Often we get the impression that simply any weird group is a cult. Those who are in cults believe that all those in groups other than their own are in cults. In this short presentation, we hope to clarify some of these thoughts and inform you in a really brief, concise, nutshell approach, a workable definition and an overview of the topic. So what is a cult? One definition is any group with an elitist cause and view of itself, which has a pyramid type of authoritarian leadership structure with all teaching and guidance coming from that person or persons at the top. The group will claim to be the only way to God or nirvana or paradise, ultimate reality.
I was going to say, if we're looking at Kate, the cult of KJ, she says she's the only reliable source on several topics.
Full potential. And we'll...
So this is from the Cult Information and Support. I'm going to put this link in. As I said, I'm more than happy for you to, I'm going to put the link there and you can definitely have a look at yourself. Tell did a great breakdown on cults. Cool.
Use thought reform.
And I mean, this is an Australian site as well, so just bear that in mind as well.
Or mind control techniques to gain control and to keep their members. From this definition, we see that a cult is a totalistic society or a high demand group that demands total allegiance. The group becomes all-consuming, and adherents often undergo a personality transformation, and they neglect family, former friends, studies, and interests. Some earmarks of a cult. They believe that theirs is the only truth. They're forbidden to have anything to do with ex-members. They're not allowed to disagree with or question the beliefs of the group. They're not allowed to read literature other than their own.
Hey, this is a lot of KJ, because she tells everyone not to go to Reddit or the Discord because you'll find ex people. You're not allowed to disagree or question KJ, and you can't actually think.
And publications. They often believe the end justifies the means. Therefore, lying and misrepresenting themselves to the public is allowed if it furthers their cause. They have secret beliefs that are withheld from outsiders and from new members. Their main agenda is recruitment and group growth. So how do we identify an abusive system? Totalistic groups are more about control and power than they are about beliefs and doctrine. The same dynamic can exist in virtually any group in society. They can be political, they can be religious, mystical, commercial, or therapy-style self-help groups. Abusive systems can exist anywhere we have these three factors: a dominant leader, poor or one-way communication, usually from the top down, in-house secrets.
Oh,
They
that's
can be very
KJ.
large, such as totalistic political regimes like Nazi Germany, or they can be very small, such as abusive relationships, or anything in between. The same dynamic of control and manipulation can exist, regardless of the size of the group. So why and how do sensible, intelligent people become involved in totalistic groups? M plus N equals C. Manipulation plus need equals control.
There we go.
These groups do target and actively seek to recruit disciples.
So again, if we start to think about this cult that they're all supposed to be in with 7M, right? Because, and as I said, there's two different things here. You got the church and you got the management. The management is only dealing with dancers. Well, who's been recruited into the church then?
The
Are they all dancers as
recruitment
well?
process involves targeting a person's specific need area, withholding any information that might be repulsive to the new recruit, protecting the new recruit from all critical thinking in the form of friends, family, or media that does not endorse the group's values, thought-blocking techniques such as chanting, praying in tongues, memorization of quotes that reinforce the group think. We all have needs. One of the strongest needs after food and shelter is the need to belong. In certain times of life, we're more vulnerable than others. These times are usually to do with any major change in our lives, such as travel, grief, leaving school, uncertainty about the future.
It's true.
It's when we have an emotional need that we become more easily manipulated. So how does mind control work? Steve Hassan, in his book Combating Cult Mind Control, tells us that human beings are made up of 4 elements: behavior, information, thoughts.
She mixed them together. That's the thing, Will, because which part of it's the cult? Is it the church that's the cult or the management company that's the cult? They both can't be cults because by the definition of the cult, they both don't fit.
And emotions. If we can control one of these elements in a person, the others tend to follow. If we control 2 of these elements, the other ones will almost certainly follow, he argues. If we can control...
Correct. Some of the allegations were years ago. And as I said, with Koncrete saying he was alleged I believe, as I said, it is my view, and I'm happy to be corrected, that allegation was unfounded, was determined to be unfounded, and there were no charges taken from that. So therefore, you can't keep accusing somebody of being an R if a lawsuit was dismissed that found that where it was unfounded. So I said, I think she picked a target and she tried to force him into the box. I think so. I think so. I don't think the church and the management company fit into the definition.
At once, which is what cults do, a person can be swept away. Interested? There is much more to know. Society
Correct.
is littered with.
That's the thing, country girl. Is the management company one business, church separate? Is both getting combined in the lawsuit as one cult? Are both being labeled as the same? That's the thing, and that's where it's getting very confusing. Because sometimes she talks about the cult, and then sometimes she talks about the management company, the church and the management company. I mean, she's talking about Robert Shin and the waterboarding. Well, that occurred in the church, right? So is that the cult, or is it the management company that's the cult? What is it? It's very confusing.
Groups that would take advantage of your loved ones. The best defense is education. We could go on to list the thousands of groups that we consider to be abusive, or we can simply say they all follow the same pattern and therefore are easily identifiable. I suggest that you browse around on this website and the links provided and become well informed. And finally, Jeannie Mills was a former member of the People's Temple and subsequent victim of assassination a year following the November 18, 1978 Jonestown suicide. 911 people, adults and children, drank Kool-Aid and died on that day. She said, when you meet the friendliest people that you've ever known, who introduce you to the most loving group of people you've ever encountered, and you find the leader of the group to be the most inspired, caring, compassionate, and understanding person that you have ever met, and then you learn that the cause of the group is something you never dared hope could be accomplished, and all of this sounds too good to be true. It probably is too good to be true. So don't give up your education, your hopes, and your ambitions to follow a rainbow. Thank you so much for your attention.
So there you go. That was.
I hope you got.
So that's from the cult family and support. So they've got a whole pile of information on here, articles and helpful links. So I would really recommend having a look at that. And here they've said not all groups are cults. Some groups are cult-like. So there is a difference between being cults and being cult-like. And I think that's part of the problem. So this is, cults, general information, articles, books, stories, media, helpful links, articles. There's let's talk some, so there's a whole lot of stuff here, helpful links that you can have a look. I did share the link, and you can make complaints. How to make complaints have been high, and look, as I said, there are high control groups. The dance industry is highly controlled, is highly regulated. Just because it's highly regulated or highly controlled doesn't make it a cult. It can be cult-like, but not a cult. Look, I seem to get the impression there are elements of the church that could be deemed cult-like. But is it a cult? I don't know. So, but it's just funny that, she accused Robert Shin of abusing the court. Why did they have to go and get a motion to compel if she wasn't abusing the court system. You know? Yeah, so for me, it's very confusing. I mean, I'm not keeping track of it. It's just, there just seems to be a grey line. I think, I mean, and I'm surprised that they didn't actually get the church to sue her as well, in my opinion, because there would be a case of that as well, because there's, as I said, confusing elements. So confusing. We're just going to have a quick look at Llama Girl. We looked at with balls. I'll put their handles in the comment section, but thank you for both of these people. Both of, oh yeah, Llama Girl went through the comments. So KJ did a story on Garrison's estate. Dancers have a job if that's what a cult is. Dang, I worked with my bike. Well, and that's the thing. Being told what to do is part of normal life, isn't it? So it says, so Llama Girl says, I was just reading through the comments from KJ's Facebook under her video. She was insinuating Cody will fight for the money from Garrison's insurance policy. It shouldn't shock me because KJ is a cult leader, AMO, but so many believe this is what Cody's doing. So here's one of her comments. Why does Cody wants half of Garrison's estate when the man publicly several times on this program said that his sons were dead to him and this is a cool man? I statistic nausea to see what his son Sonny had been. What? Fun having him, but doesn't. Wowzers! What on earth? That makes no sense. I think she's drunk the Kool-Aid. But remember, Katie also said that it was scripted. And then she hasn't got round to deleting this. Okay, I never say much about what you put out there, but all this speculation and is bordering on the stuff you put out there about the Texas young girl custody battle several years back. If you're not 100% about these things, you should not be doing them. It is all if and if on this one. This chick Katie Joy is nauseating. I would be embarrassed if this is how I made my money off other people's tragedies and gossip of TLC characters. Why is there a video made about this? Why is this being told to the public? Anything to his family does should have nothing to do with the public. I was thinking the same thing, like, why is this girl going into depth about this poor young man's death? Let him rest in peace and let his family mourn. I don't like how they act like they know what's going on in his life. This lady is guessing. It keeps everyone here watching. I listen so I can laugh at her commentary. She knows nothing. Because he actually made a short video shortly after Garrison's death saying how this influencer's content is not accurate and the family doesn't want her doing it. Now she makes this stupid video discussing different scenarios that may or may not apply. It's disgusting. How is this anyone's business but his mother and siblings? But remember, she said before that the whole show is fake, but now she's saying it's not. Someone says she's a loser. How do you know so much about this? So, yes. Yeah. So, yeah, that is some stuff. I laugh so much when she complains the dancers have no sane dancers. That is normal. You want to say become a choreographer. Anyway, I have to go. I've got a phone call. So I'm going to love you all and leave you all. Make sure you hit like and subscribe.